Well, let me change that real quick. Didn't realize Fighter Fest. Alright, there we go. So it doesn't look like it's saying something obscene. Alrighty. Welcome. I am the one and only MSJ, Max for short, and we are playing The Last of Us Part 2. This is Part 5. I'm really tired, but I can't go to bed, so I'm like, I thought I'd just stream for a little bit, but towards the end of Part 4, I kind of I did my predictions for Fighter Fest, which is AEW Dynamite, and I was like, I thought I'd do just a fun predictions, because I don't normally do that kind of stuff. I like to just watch it, but I was right. I got every single match right. I called it down the middle, even the big title change of the night. So there was one match it could have went either way, but I'm like, you know what? My reasoning behind it was pretty good. So I can't remember the order of the matches, but I remember that the match with Chris Jericho was up first against Shawn Spears, and Chris Jericho wasn't able to use a chair, but Shawn Spears was, and that was a good match. That was fun. MJF was brutal on that mic, on commentary. He was making fun of Chris Jericho left and right, and calling out his physique and everything, and it's like, that was just like, that's just rough. So, but I really enjoyed that match. It was fun. I've never really been I've always liked Shawn Spears, but I think that match was like really showing me that he was fun to watch. And so, let me have some fun here. But I enjoyed it. It was the first of the 5 labors of Chris Jericho. And I thought that was just great. Then Chris Jericho won, which I knew he would, because but ultimately I think he's going to end up losing the entire thing. He'll make it through all the labors, and then he'll just lose, because another friend who watches wrestling probably is thinking the same way. So but I don't think I need to go in there. But that was a really great match. I called it. Like, I think that was probably the most easiest match to kind of predict of the night, was Chris Jericho winning, because there was no way he was going to lose his first labor. And that was a good match too. I mean, like, there honestly, I thought honestly there for a second he would lose, and just like, but there's just too much money to be had with this Labors of Jericho thing. I really like that. So, trying to think what was the next match. I like I said, I can't remember the actual order of the matches, but I knew Nyla Rose was going to lose against Britt Baker, but that was another match. That was the first of the title matches of the night, the AEW Women's Title. Britt Baker, I honestly thought maybe she was going to get it. She was going to lose her title on her first title defense, but I liked it. The ending, there was a little wonky crucifix pin in there, but I thought the overall match was really fun, especially that ending sequence where she reversed into the lockjaw and everything. I'm like, oh, that was so cool. That was just fun. And when she finally locked it in, I'm like, it's over. I really liked that, and it was fun. I always like Nyla Rose. I think she's has a very strong presence, and being a former women's title champion, I think she'll get that title again. She will, but I think Britt Baker needed to kind of show that how good that she was by taking on Nyla first, and that was a good first victory for her. So, you got Darby versus Wheeler Yuta. That was pretty fun. That was actually a pretty fun match. I don't remember much of it because there was a situation going on with her little puppy dog. He's getting old, so he's just getting a little. He's just getting a little rough. You know, he can't walk around the house or jump on the bed like he used to. So it was just a moment, and so what I'm doing is that there will be people that will attack me here in a minute, and so I'm just kind of having some fun. I don't think I'll need this many, but I've never put down this many to defend myself, so I think I'm going to hurt myself eventually. There we go. But yeah, Darby won with the coffin chop. I knew that was going to happen, but it was still fun regardless. It was still a good match, what I caught of it. And then I knew Orange Cassidy was going to win against Blade. That was fun. That was actually pretty fun. I was into that one. The crowd was too. And before I push this button, I just want to say that licensed music makes all the difference. It really does. So when Orange Cassidy coming out to the Pixies, I think, just that is just like, you immediately know what he is, and it just like it sets the tone. Same with Jungle Boy, you know, his theme and everything. It's just like it gets the crowd, and with Chris Jericho's Judas, and it's just like, oh wow, it's just like, here we go. Like I've already upgraded. Oh crap. How'd you get past one? So, I really enjoyed that match. I like the finish with the orange punch because he's been trying it. He tried it a few times to get it out, to get it done, but couldn't get it, and he finally did it for the win. And I think that probably has one of the spots of the night for me is the gut-wrench power bomb onto the top rope, like not from the top rope, onto the top rope, and I'm like, oh my god, that was awesome. I'm like, oh my god, like it legit looked like that kind of hurt. And so. But it was just just a fun match, and I think that was more for the crowd more than anything. That was just like that was definitely for the crowd, and that's why I knew Orange was going to win, and it. All it was doing was just there to really help just have the crowd have fun that night.
Yes.
And I'm trying to think of the other matches. I know the big match of the night, but I'm going to just check real quick. Fyter Fest, Night 2, results. That was it. We already talked about that one. Talked about how the next labor for Chris Jericho is going to be a no rules match with Nick Gage. That's going to be really, really awesome. And then you got Andrade. He came out there and talked. And they brought out Chavo. I was like, that was really cool to see Chavo out there. Sorry, I'm like trying to find the matches. Oh, the other one was the one I couldn't remember was Doc Gallows defeating Frankie Kazarian. That was the match I was struggling to think of. I mean, that was fun. I knew that was kind of just like, I felt like it was still a decent match, but it just felt like it was just there to kind of help move some things along, like bring out Kenny and stuff like that. And I'm loving Kenny Omega's like facial hair and everything. I just think he just looks so. He just has a very unique look right now with all that. Then, of course, it was next is the IWGP United States Texas Deathmatch Championship for the championship with Jon Moxley and Lance Archer, the Murder Hawk. Oh man, that was fun. I think I was so into that match from start to finish. With the fork and everything, I was like, I was hoping like they weren't really going to accidentally, like, just by accident, hurt one another. And the blood. See, I think that's done really well. Like the whole blood aspect of that match, it wasn't overly gruesome, but it helped tell a story. Like that these two, like how important winning was for them, and that's what I really liked about it, was just that it really proved that. Oh, I don't need that. Okay, I think. Oh yeah, it's this sequence. I want to try and run through this as quickly as possible because this part can be kind of slow, but it's fine. I may just. Here we go. Stalkers. So I'm going to just reload. Because this is a big set piece about to happen. Alright. Here we go. 3, 2, 1, go. Oh crap. Oh crap. Thing is, I've done that before. I've just ran for it. I've always made it to the window before I got hit, but I think that was just because of me being stupid and like just running for it instead of zigzagging. But yeah, but that match, the Texas Death Match, was great. Like even the finish, because I forgot what the rules was, and so it was basically a last man standing match. So they had to like beat each other until they couldn't make it to the count of 10. And what I really liked was the way Jon Moxley lost. That was like, I was really hesitant to say that when I was. If you want to, for proof, go back to the previous video 2.4 and skip to towards the end where I'm actually talking about the results and everything, where it's like, oh, like I was really hesitant to say that he was going to lose, but I knew I knew Britt Baker was going to retain, so I'm like, something big was going to have to happen. So that's kind of why I'm like, okay, Lance Archer, and plus, there hadn't really been a title change in a while, so I figured that would be great. And I feel like that helps move Jon Moxley onto other things. Maybe But the finish was great. Like they set up 2 tables, and then John Moxley ended up causing his own demise. Oh yeah, I forgot to push square. Forgot to. Was like sealing his own fate by being 2 boards full of barbed wire on top of the 2 already set up tables, and then Moxley getting stabbed in the face with a fork, because he's done that a few times to Lance Archer throughout the match, and it finally came back to get him in the end, and so I thought that was great. And then he just couldn't. He got put through both of them, and he couldn't reach the count of 10. And we have a new IWGP United States champion. And I'm just like, oh wow, I can't believe I called all those matches correctly. I probably will never do that. I mean, I'll probably do it, but I'm not to that extent, because I'm actually like. Felt like I was actually on top of my wrestling game for once, because I was looking at the results from night 1. It's like, well, you can't have, as Carl Anderson lost the first night. I mentioned all this in the previous video. It's like, well, Carl Anderson lost in that one. They're not going to have Doc Gallows lose as well. So, so that's kind of like that line of reason. And for the Orange Cassidy, that's more for the crowd to like at least have like a really good fun moment. And then and Adam Handmaid Page came out to confront Omega, and Dark Order came out to help him, and so I really liked all that, and they're setting up something big. Like, I'm loving that Omega is this champion. It's just like, if you look at the previous, there's only been 3 champions, like Jericho, Moxley, and Omega, and all 3 of them has like very drastic feels to their championship reigns, and that's what's awesome. Like I really hate to talk about WWE in comparison, because like AEW is like so good on its own, it doesn't need comparison to WWE. But if you look at their champions, there's really no, like, even their current champions, like you got who's the United States champion? Isn't that Sheamus? Like, Sheamus, Nikki, Bianca, Roman, Lashley. Who's the Intercontinental? Sammy, I think. So they all feel the same. I think Sammy and Nikki may be the ones that really stand out, but they just don't have like unique feels to them, and I think that's where WWE is like really falling flat, is that they don't trust their superstars. Like, that's what made the Attitude Era great, is because they trusted their performers to go out there and do what they needed to do to win the Monday Night War. But it was just like, nowadays it's like, I like the grittiness and like the feel of AEW. It feels like Nitro. Like, I think that's what I was talking about with another friend. Crap. Is that Nitro had a very unique feel to it, and I'm actually playing this a little differently, but yeah, like I can't believe they got rid of the Hurt Business. Like the Hurt Business was something so different, and of course they did away with it, and then they just don't trust themselves. They just won't. They don't want to fail. I think that's the problem. And then in doing so, they're not allowing to do things, and I think that's what AEW like. Will everything stick? No. Like they're only in a few years into their company's history, and they're getting bigger. They really are. Like they feel like they're gonna. Only get bigger, especially with the if they keep this current trend of storytelling. They will just be fantastic, and if the reports are to be believed, like Daniel Bryan signed with him. Like he literally just signed with AEW, and that is huge. Like yes, like I think as much as Sting signing on with AEW was big, like so with Mark Henry and Christian and stuff like that, it was just like I think Daniel Bryan is probably one of, and like Andrade. I'm not trying to like take anything away from those guys, but they are just they don't have the history as Daniel Bryan does. Okay, I'm like Andrade. Yeah, he's a very good worker, and a very good wrestler, and I think he can. I think the story that he's telling with Chavo and Death Triangle right now is going to be really fun to watch. And I was really waiting for them to turn on Pac at the last second, like when they were, but like there's just too much going on in that episode. After looking back on it, it's like they kind of wanted like they wanted to maybe save that for like a pay-per-view or something like that. But I thought that was a lot of fun. That little interaction with all of them. Oh yeah, I keep forgetting I have a flashlight. But it's it's really just this door. But I think that's where Daniel Bryan will yes, he had his huge WrestleMania moment. But I think in terms of him truly showing off his wrestling ability and stuff like that, I think he's gonna really thrive in AEW. Like you don't wrestle for the money, you wrestle because you love the business, and I think that's what I think. Just on my end of things, I think that's what really made the decision for him was like that. And if they were going to bring CM Punk in as well, the thing is, I don't even really want to see him wrestle. I just want him in a ring and talking. I think that's where he's more effective. Like, not how I wanted to do, but I kind of got into a situation where I had to. But anyways, it's like, I thought Fyter Fest Night 2 was good. I didn't get a chance to watch the entire event of Night 1, but I did manage to catch the coffin match. So, with Darby and, I can't think of his name. Ethan Page. So, I thought that was a fun match too. Oh, mister. Gotcha. But yeah, it was... Fyter Fest overall was probably one of the best wrestling experiences I've had in a while. Just because I'm actually able to watch it live instead of, oh crap. So, but I forget I have this weapon. Oh, I hit the truck. I've missed that person twice now. 3 times. There. So, oh man, I cannot wait to experience my first AEW event next month. I just cannot wait. That's just something that, as big as a diehard wrestling fan that I am, oh yeah, I gotta. This is fun to do too. So, I've only been to two. I've only been to one wrestling event, and that was SummerSlam, 2019. That's when I took my trip to Canada, and it was just like, I've been a wrestling fan for 25 years, and basically that's what it seems like, but it's like more like 20, but still, it's like 2 decades worth of fandom, and I've only been to one event, and my first one was SummerSlam. It's just things like that. Just oh yeah, I think I'm going to end up killing myself actually. Yeah. Alright. I'm gonna try to stealth this guy. So, I'm just looking forward to my first ever event, so that's what I'm looking forward to, doing a video on that one, later on. It'll be about a month before I have to do anything with that, but it's just like, I'm excited that I have that ready to go. So, this portion of the game was fun because this is like, Dina isn't with you for the first time, or you're actually kind of just playing by yourself. You're not, you don't have a companion, like, or anything like that. You are strictly on this road to the end because Dina has revealed that she's pregnant. Jesse showed up, but Tommy is out there doing his thing. So this is like really the first time where you're on your own. Like, I think you played as Abby by yourself for like a minute or two, but you end up catching up with Joel and Tommy real quick. So it was just like this, a good chunk of the game where you're just playing by yourself. And I think, if I remember right, this is where the game will switch perspectives as well. It's like we're going to end up like switching over to Abby's journey, and which I think is fantastic. I know a lot of people don't like it. And I was like, I went back and started reading some trivia on it, just because I had forgotten. I forgot like the plot, the plot leak had leaked, and they review bombed this and all that good stuff, and like people are actually getting death threats and everything. And I'm like I think that has become way too desensitized, like in terms of like people saying that. It's like you know, it is something super serious to be taken and not taken lightly, but like people are like just willy-nilly throwing the like really saying that I'm going to like harm someone just because of something fictional. So it's like I cannot believe it. I mean, oh, trust me, I'm a hardcore fan, and like as you can tell, like I do take kind of like what's it called, offense to things, but not ever to the offense, like because maybe like wrestling. Take wrestling for instance. Like I really do take highly offense when you get these really good storylines, and then wrestling, whoever's like in charge of that storyline, is like, no, we're not going to do it that way. And I'm like, and then they completely destroy. Like, case in point, Karrion Kross this past week on Monday Night Raw. Like, he is like a legit threat. He is like, I know it's all fake and it's predetermined, but in order for these characters to really get over and connect, you have to write these characters well, and they're not, and they haven't been doing that well at all.
Don't make a fucking sound. Hands up.
Easy.
You know a girl named Nora?
Sure, yeah.
Where is she?
In the hospital.
Where in the hospital?
Yeah, they're clearing out the upper floors. She's somewhere in there.
Fuck. That was dumb.
Which, honestly, could be said about this game too, because they wrote these characters really well, and that's the problem. It's like, this is a very good story. Just because they wrote Joel's death a certain way, and they made you play as the murderer of Joel, but it doesn't take away from the fact that it's a good story. You're forced to see things from her perspective and her way of life and everything, to kind of understand where she's coming from, as we have done with Ellie. But kind of compare it to wrestling, because this is all predetermined too, so it's just you're playing it a certain way. That's kind of how wrestling is. But the way they did Karrion Kross, like, anyways, but it was just like terrible how they did him. Like you built him up so well in NXT, and and then you job him out to Jeff Hardy, which he's like no slouch either. But I'm just saying, like Jeff Hardy should have been the one to lose. Like should have to really show. What kind of threat Karrion Kross is on the main roster, and how they're doing Rhea Ripley too. Like the NXT call-ups have not been the most spectacular, and what they did to Keith Lee too. Like I know if you follow wrestling, you know what I'm talking about. But they're doing them dirty. Majorly doing them dirty. That's it. Oh, let's just jump behind me. But it's just you can tell that AEW has a bigger respect for their roster than WWE. Like the whole when the pandemic was going on and how WWE was trying to take over their money. Like no, that is. I cannot believe they tried that, and I'm really happy that Selena Vega stood up for herself, and the whole thing with Paige, that was her outlet and everything. So it was just. Yeah, the state of wrestling is very in a weird thing. You got AEW, which is I think eventually it's going to just take AEW a little bit of time, but they will become a threat to WWE. Yes, WWE has the higher production value and stuff like that, but wrestling fans will finally will know what's up. Yeah, there we go. That's what I was looking for. here's a big chase sequence.
Don't scream. Put that shit down. You remember me? Yeah. You remember me.
What do you want?
Abby was here earlier. Where'd she go?
I don't know. You shoot me. The sound will have every soldier come running.
You'll still be dead. Tell me where she went and I'll think about letting you go.
We could have killed you.
Maybe you should have. Or maybe you should have stayed the fuck out of Jackson. Where's Abby?
You still hear his screams?
What?
I hear them every night. Yeah. Yeah, that little bitch got what he deserved.
Oh.
Fucking
Trespasser!
Nora! You can't escape this! Damn it! Shoot her! Stop! Damn it!
I lost Abby, or lost Nora.
Shoot her! God damn it! No, no, no! Got you!
This sequence, this moment coming up with Ellie really shows you like how brutal and how determined she really is to get to Abby.
No, wait.
Back up!
Gun down!
You can walk away from this, okay? I can
Shut the fuck up!
Gun down! Hands up!
Get back!
You have nowhere to go.
No!
I love this moment.
Abby?
You're breathing spores. You're her.
You Firefly?
There are no fireflies anymore.
Where's Abby?
I'm fucking dead anyway. Why would I tell you anything?
Because I can make it quick. Or I can make it so much worse.
Think about what he did. How many people are dead because of him?
Last chance.
I'm not giving up, my friend.
You will. I think this is where we will stop for a minute after this sequence, because this is kind of a big moment too coming up.
It's me. Holly. Are you okay?
Christ. Is that your blood?
She's hiding out in this aquarium.
Okay. Come on. Let's get you cleaned up. Arms up.
I made her talk. It's okay. I don't want to lose you.
That right there is a moment that like comes back later, like at the very end of the game. It's just like oh, here we go. where Ellie finds out the truth. I remember this part of the game. First went from after part 1. And I'm really excited for the remake of the first one. Like, I really am. I hope it really plays more like this one, as much as I love the first one. Yeah, the game mechanics are kind of a little wonky, but that adds to the charm of the game. But the fluidness of this and the smoothness and just like how everything this game just feels that I can understand why they would want to kind of do a little bit of I don't know, a reworking of it all. As long as you don't really change, if they don't change anything story wise or anything like that, but like just give it a nice good control overhaul and stuff like that, and add some new stuff, like I'll be on board 100%.
Even if we found her, or by some miracle found someone else that's immune, it'd make no difference. Because the only person who could develop a vaccine is dead. Or by some miracle found someone else that's immune. It'd make no difference. Found someone else that's immune. It'd make no difference. Because the only person...
Ellie!
Running off in the middle of the night like that. You talk to me. You don't just leave me a goddamn note.
Tell me.
And that right there, to me,
What happened here?
is like, these games are like prime example why there should be like Oscars for voice acting, because
If you lie to me one more time, I'm gone.
I mean there's tons of other games
You
like
will never
that
see
has
me again.
really good voice acting,
But if you tell me the truth, I'll go back to Jackson. No matter what it is. Just say it. Joel.
Making a vaccine. Would have killed you. So why stop?
Oh my God. Don't you fucking touch me!
go back. But we're done.
See, I keep thinking that something else is going to happen. I haven't played this in over a year, so it's like my what's it called? Memory is not as good as I thought it was for this game, but which is good because I'm like, oh yeah, we still got this part and this part, because I knew that that we were going to get that sequence of Joel telling the truth, but it's called I Hate You. It's not a race. See, I keep thinking what's going to happen is going to be cut in half. I couldn't remember
She had a rough
what
night.
I think's going to happen.
Barely could get her to keep water down.
You should have woken me up.
Is she pregnant?
Yeah?
I get why you came out here. But we gotta take her back. She needs real care and she's not gonna get that.
Yeah, I know. I know. But I can't just leave Tommy. He's out here because of me. Maybe you could take her back.
She's not gonna leave without you.
Yeah.
Screw it. Let's get Tommy. This aquarium that girl told you about. Tommy hasn't found Abby yet. We'll post up there until he does.
And you're good with leaving Dina by herself?
Her orders.
Okay. Let's go tell her we're leaving then.
I'll just meet you up front.
Yeah.
absolutely love like people playing actual songs on the guitar like that. I like Hurt.
Let's do it.
One of the Metallica songs. I can't remember which one it was. But
Should be down this way.
oh. So I think that's where I want to end today. Thank you for watching. I am the one and only MSJ. Hopefully, my goal is to watch Space Jam. So I'll come back and do a review for Space Jam while I play this. So, thank you. I am the one and only MSJ. Max for short. And don't forget to click subscribe, hit the bell, leave a like, comment, all that fun stuff because it helps me get my channel out there. I don't normally do streams, but I just sometimes I like to talk and play video games, and this is just really a good way to decompress from work and life and all that good stuff. So it's just a good way to do this. So thank you, and until next time, I think we'll be heading on our way to the aquarium.